So what we're going to be talking about is we're going to talk a little bit about the discriminant. And the discriminant is part of the quadratic equation, or the quadratic formula. So if you've got ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, remember our quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, the discriminant literally is just a piece of the quadratic formula. You can tell that whatever is under this radical is going to help determine both the number and type of your answers. You can take the square root of a positive number and you're left with a positive real number. So this expression underneath the radical is called the discriminant. This expression is that b squared minus 4ac, and if this is positive, if the value of this is positive, then you're going to end up with two real solutions. And more than that, you could even tell if this happens to be a perfect square, you'll end up with two rational solutions. You would be able to completely evaluate that square root. Now, if that happened to be negative, then instead of this being real, this whole piece of the quadratic formula would be imaginary. So you would end up with having, instead of two real solutions, you'd have two complex solutions. So if this discriminant, if it's positive, it's two real. If it's negative, you're going to end up with two complex solutions. So remember, that's things in that form of a plus bi. So you're going to have, and I is just the square root of -1. Well, we've only got one more option. Positive, it's greater than 0. Negative, less than 0. Well, what happens if it's 0? If this is 0, then literally I've got nothing happening here. I will have one solution, and I even know what it's going to be. It's going to be that negative b over 2a. So I will have one solution. And it would even be, I even know that my solution would be negative b over 2a. Let's go ahead and do some examples. So I'm going to start by saying, well, let's take a look at what happens if I find the number and type of solutions for something like this. I'll do 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay? Remember, I'm only going to find the number and type of things. So this is going to be -5. I'm looking for this b squared minus 4ac. -5 squared minus 4 times 3 times -2. This would be 25 plus, well, it's going to be 12 times 2 is 24. This would be 49. This is positive. Which tells me that I would have two real solutions. Let's do another one. Let's say we've got something like, oh, let's say I've got 2x squared minus 3x plus a 6 equals 0. Okay. Remember, it's b squared minus 4ac. This is my discriminant. So here I'm going to have negative 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times 6. I'll have 9 minus 8 times 6 is 48. So this would be negative 39. Because this is negative, I would have 2 complex solutions. So that's no real solutions on that one, but 2 complex solutions. Well, we've only got one more option to consider. Let's go ahead and show what that would look like. Say I've got something like 9x squared minus 30x plus 25 is equal to 0. Well, oh boy, this is going to be big. B squared minus 4ac. Here, b is going to be negative 30 squared. That's going to be minus 4 times 9 times 25. Well, as big as these numbers are, they're still relatively easy to deal with. Negative 30 times negative 30 would be a positive 900. I'm going to think about this. 4 times 25 is 100. 100 times 9 is 900. 900 minus 900 is 0. Because this is 0, I've got one real solution. All right, that's all we've got for right now.